Everyone, and welcome to My Food is African, a show that cuts across Africa to the world. We're here to explain and show you the reality of African foods. My name is Katika. We are reporting live from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, a country that gives a heart-soul food that I'm sure you will enjoy whenever you visit Tanzania and eat our food. My name is Katika, and in studio today I am not alone. I'm joined with Chef Kile, one of our celebrity chefs from Tanzania. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, and online we are also joined with Ruth Nabagala from Uganda. She is African Agroecological Entrepreneurship Project Officer from Alliance for Food Sovereignty, AFSA. Ruth, welcome to the program. Thank you so much. Now, coming back to African foods, we have our own culinary heritage that we've been celebrating for decades. And to go through that journey, we have Chef Kile. And when we see Chef Kile and Tanzanians see Chef Kile, we are expecting to find barbecues on the menu.
Yes.
And we believe that African foods heritage begins with barbecues. Yes. Right after the discovery of fire.
100%. Yes.
Everything was grilled.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of African foods, today we're going to go to Google and find that African food map. Tanzania has its own representation, which is ugali and beans has been represented as our staple food. Chef, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't agree. See, ugali is something that we adapted. Our originally, we as Africans and all as Tanzanians, we were not eating ugali. We were eating meat, sometimes eggs, honey, fruits. That was our food.
Mm-hmm. But right now?
Right now we have plenty. See, a lot of food, I would say products of farm products were introduced to Africa during the colonial time. Then we adapted and we learned how to prepare those foods. And if you look how we prepare our food, if it's not boiling, it's grilling direct on the fire.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why you see many of our foods, if you go to up countries, the main process is boiling. Yeah. You have makanda, right? Beans and maize.
And maize.
You boil them, you get makanda.
Mm-hmm.
In Kenya, they have their name.
Yeah.
What they call?
Githeri.
Githeri, you see.
Okay. And I believe even Uganda has their own name for such kind of food, yeah. A combination of cereals and beans. Now, coming back to realizing what is African food, Ruth, kindly explain to us, when we talk about African food, what do we really mean?
Oh, thank you so much. When we talk about African food, we talk about the nutritional value of our African food. We talk about food that we understand how to produce, we understand how to prepare, we understand how to use it in different aspects. So African food is food that is close to us. It's our heritage. It's our pleasure. It's something that we celebrate. So African food is what we put into the stomach, is what we celebrate, is what we enjoy, is what makes us heal from everything else. So African food is beyond chewing and swallowing. It's everything around us.
Absolutely, yes. Now, to our distinguished viewers who are watching us from wherever it is, whether it is in Tanzania, East Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, and wherever you're watching us, please send us a comment and tell us about African food. What do you know about African food? What is your African culinary heritage that you celebrated today. So AFSA is one among the organizations that has been doing a lot of efforts in making sure that African food deserves the respect that it owns throughout the whole entire world. Ruth, can you take us through the understanding of Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa? What is it all about?
Yes, thank you so much. So the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa is a network and a movement, a strong movement pushing for food sovereignty, pushing for agroecology in Africa. And so it being a strong movement, it has a presence in 50 out of the 55 countries, has a membership of 40 members who include faith-based farmer groups, farmer networks, pastoralists, all types of groups that we are working with, pushing for agroecology, pushing for food sovereignty, pushing for sustainable food practices in Africa. So that's Alliance for Food Sovereignty, and we do this through seed, anything that concerns food, through seed, through land, through markets, and through climate. So that's the movement that is the Alliance for Food Sovereignty in Africa.
Juma, she's from Zanzibar, Tanzania, the lady with a lot of hats, including the chairperson for agriculture, for organic farming in Tanzania. Dr. Matima, welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon to you all. Thank you very much. Got lost voice a bit from traveling, but I'm here. Good to see you people.
We are trying to understand about AFSA and the efforts that has been done by AFSA. Just take us through some of the efforts that AFSA has been doing in maintaining food sovereignty in Africa.
Understanding the support for AFSA, especially in recognizing our traditional seeds and putting them into the map and getting farmers to be much better organized in that recognition is one step. But the next one, which I'm much more involved in, this idea of reviving our food is African. You know, we need to decolonize our minds. For a while, we have been taught that cooking African way is time-consuming, is laborious, and then we rush into quick food, deep frying, and the like, and getting all the ingredients and the half-cooked stuff from the supermarket. We lost that. And when we lost that traditional food, we are also losing our health. We don't recognize that, but we are losing our health because we all know that we are what we eat. And if we are eating something that is not nutritious for us, that's where we are losing it. And to me, AFSA has been spearheading in that recognition, and that is why we have such kind of a presentation today, to tell people to reflect back, to ask in their food, yes, is this our own food? How far away it has been coming into our houses, into our homes, and more specifically is the ingredients. Where are they coming from? Are we producing ingredients ourselves, and how are we producing them? Are we producing them using chemicals, or are we producing them organically? Because we had all realized if you produce them with a lot of these chemicals and pesticides, we are losing that nutritive value of that food that we are planning to eat. So,
an idea of what African food is all about and what AFSA has been done. But my food is African, chef. Yes. I think is this a right time for this campaign to come to this young generation of 2024? Is this the right time?
Yeah, it is the right time through the people like you. You know, you've been displaying a lot of food, but we need to display more of African food. How we prepare, and the reason we were preparing those food in such a way. Why were we just boiling stuff? You see, if you take a pineapple today and boil it, if you put aside those pineapples, how do you call those?
Flesh.
The flesh. They will have nothing, 100%, but the water will have everything. So if you understand that, slowly you start to understand how to prepare your food.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
And that comes to what our campaign is all about. So Dr. Mutima, kindly take us through understanding the concept of My Food is African. What is My Food is African campaign all about?
My Food is African campaign is all about recognizing that we also have food. You know, of late, a lot of these fries, they call them fish and chips, burgers. These are all kind of introduced stuff. And we want to get people back to, we use cassava, we use banana, and how much we can make into those bananas, into those cassavas to be the delicious food, and most important also the nutritious food that we used to eat during our generation. For us, like I said, it's more of what is the source of our ingredient, because we could be told eat vegetables is very healthy for you, but we realize nowadays the vegetables are washed with the chemical pesticides, so poisonous pesticides, and that way then instead of bringing the health needed from the vegetables, we are bringing poison into our bodies. We really need to go further. And this is what we have to have a discussion with AFSA to go further into analyzing and giving out the nutritional value of our food, especially in the different areas based on how they are being produced. If you are producing it with the chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides, what is the nutritional value of that food? How much of iron, how much of zinc, how much of boron is still there? What is the flavor of that food? So that way then we bring it back. And I believe this is the right time, because the more we delay, the more we have a generation who does not even know what a good food tastes.
And unfortunately for us Africans, Chef, and everybody else joining us, is once we are educated, we tend to change our language. From whatever native language that we're coming from, we tune to English or French or something else. Yeah? And then through that journey, we turn to fast foods because our time is very limited. Because most of African cuisines, they're slow cooked. You know, it takes a long time to cook all that food. But luckily enough, we have chefs like Chef Kile. They know the tricks and how to work around and make things easier. And today we'll learn much about how to enjoy eating African food despite your busy schedules, despite your status, but you must eat healthy food that your body really needs. Now, on the menu today, Chef, our key ingredient is the free-range chicken.
Yes.
And when we talk of free-range chicken, I think every African understands that language. We've been eating that for all of these years.
Yes.
But grilling, where you're coming from and where our roots come from, is that chicken was grilled. And according to what we have in our markets today, it is very challenging to grill chicken, especially the free-range chicken.
Yes.
Yeah? So we'll have a take a look of what among our very first tours was to meet a poultry farmer from Malembo Farm right here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. He will tell us one of the tips and the biggest tips that we need to learn and know about the free-range chicken that is good for multi-purpose food recipes. So we are about to source the main ingredient of today, which is the indigenous traditional African chicken, which is reared here at Malembo Farm in Dar es Salaam. Now let's go meet Malembo himself and find out more about the organic indigenous traditional chicken.
tumekuwa na changamoto ya kupata breed tofauti tofauti kwa sababu dunia imekuwa kijiji. Sasa hivi tuna kuku chotara.
The world has become a village. It's quite difficult to get a real free-range chicken because of various hybrids that have been introduced in the country. If you don't know the real traditional chicken, then you might end up buying other chicken varieties that are not traditional. To know if the chicken is traditional chicken, it's important to look at their feet and take a closer look to their fingers. Usually they are quite tough. These features will also help to determine the chicken's age. For a very long time at Malembo Farm, we decided to engage in poultry farming, specifically free-range chicken, so as to preserve Tanzanian culture of eating traditional chickens that are kept originally. Despite being urban city, we have considered putting more efforts on feeding our chicken organic food to complete their diet as per nature demands. By providing them azolla water weeds, a chicken needs 150 to 170 grams of food per day, and they need more protein that comes from grass rather than brand chicken feeds. At Malembo Farm, we produce water weeds for feeding chickens, not only for providing good nutrition, but also cut feeds costs. Research reveals that 67% of poultry farming cost comes from chicken feeds. Thus, any poultry farmer needs to have accurate information on how to reduce production costs. The weeds help us to cut production costs by 50%, comparing to industrial chicken feeds that are quite expensive. Research have revealed that these so-called traditional free-range chicken were brought in Africa back in days. Likewise in Tanzania, they became traditional after being in our communities. For decades and have adopted our environment to date. They are regarded as traditional chicken.
Serikali zinaonyesha kwenye ufugaji wa kuku yule wa kienyeji, yule wa kisasa, zaidi ya 67% ya gharama za uendeshaji zinaenda kwenye chakula.
All right, really, indeed, those are kind of informations that we need. Many of you, my viewers right now, they might be wondering, like, the Malembo was holding a white chicken. And when we see a white chicken, we know it's not traditional chicken, like it cannot be. But that chicken was white. Does it mean that it is not a free-range chicken?
No, it is a free-range chicken.
Because of the features that we've learned?
Yes.
Okay, so that is our key ingredient today, which is a free-range chicken, and we'll show you how best you can cook that food. But before going over there, we just want you guys to continue connecting with us. You know, send us your comments and tell us about your African food, the country where you're coming from, and your staple food, what it is. We'll be happy to know about the food heritage of wherever you are coming from. And please don't forget to send us your flags, your comments and your flags. We want to recognize who you are and where you're from. Since now we've got our key ingredients, which is the free-range chicken, but that's not the only key ingredient that we're having.
Yes,
on board, I think we have a couple of things that we have on the set, but all of these are edible and African indeed. So we'll have free-range chicken, and
we have the taro roots. And we have coconut and onions, garlic, mushrooms, berries.
Wow.
Yeah, and the coconut cream.
Okay, so some of us will be wondering, like, mushroom, is that African? It is African, and we'll show you how best you can cook mushrooms, just as how it was cooked back in the days. We are happy to be recording and coming live to you from the Spanish kitchen right here in Tanzania. They're giving us a fantastic set here that we're using to showcase all these wonderful African foods. We're going for a very short break. When we come back, there is more, because the chef has got to cook.
African dishes are packed with harmonious blend of savory, spicy, tangy, and earthy flavors.
Discover the origin of African foods as we invite you on a journey through the farms, gardens, local markets, and kitchens of Africa.
To learn about the uniqueness of healthy, delicious traditional foods that are native to Africa.
My Food is African, healthy soil, safe foods, and diverse diets. Coming soon on YouTube through ITV Tanzania.
It is every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on Capital Television and on YouTube through Capital Television Tanzania.
African dishes are packed with harmonious blend of savory, spicy, tangy, and earthy flavors.
Discover the origin of African foods as we invite you on a journey through the farms, gardens, local markets, and kitchens of Africa.
To learn about the uniqueness of healthy, delicious traditional foods that are native to Africa.
My Food is African, healthy soil, safe foods, and diverse diets. Coming soon on YouTube through ITV Tanzania.
It is every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on Capital Television and on YouTube through Capital Television Tanzania.
African dishes are packed with harmonious blend of savory, spicy, tangy, and earthy flavors.
Discover the origin of African foods as we invite you on a journey through the farms, gardens, local markets, and kitchens of Africa.
To learn about the uniqueness of healthy, delicious traditional foods that are native to Africa.
My Food is African, healthy soil, safe foods, and diverse diets. Coming soon on YouTube through ITV Tanzania.
It is every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on Capital Television and on YouTube through Capital Television Tanzania. Documentary ya kupika. All right, thank you so much. If you're still with us, we are broadcasting live from the kitchen here at Spanish Kitchens in Dar es Salaam. They're giving us fantastic place to do this fantastic episode because everything here is modern, although we are taking you back to time, which is My Food is African. And on the menu, we've already shared with you the key ingredient, which is the free-range chicken. And I'm not alone in studio today. I'm still joined with Chef Kile, one among celebrity chefs from Tanzania. Now, Chef, when you talk of free-range chicken, I know many people right now could be shaking because they're like, okay, so how can we cook this? Because it's quite tricky. And I'm sure in many recipes, people have been, you know, evading using the free-range chicken because of the texture.
Exactly.
But we've learned that whatever the chicken is being fed is what gives you the result of what food you can cook it with, right? So right now we are going to show you a very short clip of how we grilled this free-range chicken traditionally, because when you talk of traditional, we got to step out and come back. So let's go for a very, very, very informative documentary where we will come back and say more about how you can continue cooking this free-range chicken. We are at the Spanish Kitchens in Dar es Salaam. Here, it looks similar, but I'm sure it is not as what I think it is.
Yes.
The reality was, how were the food eaten back in the days?
Yeah, you'll have to go back like several generations, maybe 4 or 5, and just think, don't complicate things, just think like, what were they eating? What access did they have with the food? And then what automatically what will come in your mind is that maybe they were just eating fruits and maybe meat sometimes because they were hunting. And at some points, maybe they had access to honey. But I'm sure it wasn't always there. If you look at the hazard today, the one we are seeing through the
social media,
yes, the kind of life that they are living is the life that we were living before. Okay. Those people are living nomadic life. They are hunting, they're eating meat, they will eat monkey, birds and everything. So after the discovery of fire, there comes the grilling. And they were just putting stuff on the fire without caring whether they had salt or some spices or anything. So today what we'll do, we'll try to do a bit of that. Okay. Not 100%, but a bit of that when we have beds here. So we'll grill them there on the fire. And we have some sweet potatoes and some plantains. Yeah, I mean some chili and coconut. Although some of the things here, I would say maybe all of them, those are not originally African.
Is this a traditional way of butchering chicken, or it was a professional way of butchering chicken?
Each family had its own way, I'd say.
Oh yeah? How was your way at home?
The one I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Because I'm preparing for grilling it. It's not like I'm going to open it.
Well, that chicken is fatty.
Yeah. So you pull out the insides here.
Oops. I love the fats.
And then
this chicken is absolutely ideal for grilling.
100%.
Because it has its own fat that is good for grilling. And we are assured that our chicken in the end will not be as dry as some of us, the way we're grilling it at home. So perhaps having the chef here today will learn a lot of things, including knowing how to perfectly grill as traditional.
So this one was ready for lay eggs.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of eggs there. So when you grill, you have to make sure that it is cut open.
Yes. Depends on how you want to put it, but this
it's a bit tricky, chef. Hold on, it's a bit tricky. Grilling a free-range chicken is a challenge because the meat is usually very tough.
See, some people eat this and enjoy it. I never enjoy this.
That's me. That's my cut.
Yes.
So this will not be tough?
I'm not expecting it to be tough that much.
what are the techniques then?
The way it was raised, actually, most of the time.
So it starts with the way it was
raised,
and then the way it will be grilled.
Yeah.
So break every bit of part that is tough. Just make sure that your chicken is cut completely open.
So this one is ready. So a little bit of salt. This is salt, sea salt. A little bit of that.
A good amount of salt.
Yes.
You get to be generous so that this chicken is edible.
Yeah, we had no other spices, more salt. So
Traditionally.
This one goes to the grill. And the other one will come with that one.
So this was just for the snack.
Yes, yes.
Snacking while grilling?
A little bit of that. A little bit of this. And
Well, that's how you can authentically grill a free-range chicken. I'm sure many of you are shocked and surprised because I'm sure you were expecting to see spices and things like that. But Chef, what happened? There were no spices, it was just salt.
yeah, because we had no spices before. So salt, yes, we had sea salt. You see, we used the sea salt, those hard rocks, kabisa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so only salt, and if the way you raise those chicken, they turn out to be very delicious because they're organic. So salt is the main, as spice, I'd say. That was the main one.
That was the main one.
Yes.
All right, so we are still live here at Spanish Kitchen in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. We are showing you exactly how you can cook African food traditionally. We're giving you a reminder for those who needed a reminder, but we are giving you highlights for those who had absolutely no idea of what African food is all about. Now, as we said, chicken is our key ingredient, but that's not the only ingredient that we're working on. We are going to work on the taro roots and some mushrooms.
Yes.
So with the taro roots, Chef, how was this yams cooked?
The taro, these are the taro roots, right? So we make pieces of this, and then we just boil with salt. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. Two options, you know.
Okay.
Put them on fire, direct, and then let them cook, or just boil them.
Oh, like what you have been doing?
Yes.
Okay.
With this pot. Yeah.
All right, so simply, we would say in very few words that African food is simple. You have no excuse on indulging with our recipes. They're very simple and time conscious if you know the tricks.
Yes.
So you've been boiling the taro roots with only water and salt, and we're waiting to eat it later, right? In the meantime, when you talk of vegetables, it is also debatable that did we have vegetables?
We had. I told you the other time, like, we were using herbs as medicine most of the time. So
like the ones we have right next to you?
Yeah, they'll tell you boil that and drink it, your stomach will be fine.
As medicine?
Yes. But with time, we started to improve ourselves, and we learned how to prepare those foods. It's not like we will stick to boiling and grilling. Nowadays, we cook it differently. We know how to use our coconut creams, onions, garlic, some fruits, and to make things better.
Okay, so mushrooms, again, we are wondering, including myself, of how the mushrooms were eaten. Like, this is original from Africa.
Just on fire.
Just on fire.
Yes, put them on fire. They'll burn a little bit. Then you eat them. Those days, taste was not that important, but the nutritional values.
The nutritional values. But someone was growing mushrooms, or?
No, they were, most of the time they were from the bushes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being collected.
Mushroom farming started not very long, actually, in Africa. Yeah.
And that is because of the modern lifestyle. Of course, we could have missed the fun, because how could we have ate mushrooms in large quantities that even people in urban areas can have access to, with the fact that some of these are in forests and not everybody is living near the forest.
Yeah.
So basically, we thank those who are growing the mushrooms. Now, how do we go about the mushrooms, Chef?
Today,
Yes.
we will just slice them and cook them with some coconut cream. So maybe we should start cooking, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
And we're going to use this African pan.
Oh, this is good. This is clay. I love this.
Yeah.
I think I never knew that we could find a clay pot, which is like a saucepan that you can use it for regular foods. But finally, people have been inventing a lot, and they are making African dishes the better ways ever. And something good to know about this is that you need to continue exploring your societies. Many people are making this clay pots in different ways. We're going for a very short break, and when we come back, we'll show you how best you can cook the mushrooms and what are we going to do with the blackberries. Okay, let's go first.
And then we'll pour some coconut cream. Yeah.
Why will it take more time? Because regularly once you just switch on the stove and you're good to go.
This is a clay pot.
African dishes are packed with harmonious blend of savory, spicy, tangy, and earthy flavors.
Discover the origin of African foods as we invite you on a journey through the farms, gardens, local markets, and kitchens of Africa.
To learn about the uniqueness of healthy, delicious traditional foods that are native to Africa.
My Food is African, healthy soil, safe foods, and diverse diets. Coming soon on YouTube through ITV Tanzania.
It is every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on Capital Television and on YouTube through Capital Television Tanzania. All right, thank you so much. We are live from Spanish Kitchen right here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, giving you another big platform of knowing much about African traditional food. It's all about My Food is African, and AFSA, Alliance of Food Sovereignty in Africa, they are our key stakeholder in making sure that Africans are reminded of their native food. And in studio, it's me, Khadija Zimbwe, and I'm not alone. I am joined with Chef Kile, our celebrity chef from Tanzania. There's a lot of things we have done, but we have not missed, because now we're about to make some of unique mushroom dishes.
Yes.
All right.
And we're going to use this African pan. Yeah, it's a clay pot.
A clay pot,
pan.
yes.
Yes. So here you have some coconut cream. We're waiting for this to get a little bit warmer. They take time because of the clay pot. It is a clay. It's not like iron.
So it's a little bit heavy and takes time to get heat.
And once it's warm, it will take a little bit, to take longer to cool.
Okay. So what,
in the
apart
meantime,
from mushrooms, what else are you going to use?
Garlic.
Garlic.
And onions. A little bit of chili to make it a little bit spice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me help you with the garlic. Just quickly remove these cloves. Do you mind if we just cook with the skin on?
No.
You won't mind. Good enough.
But we will take the skin off.
Oh, okay. Fine.
We just need like 2 or 3 cloves of garlic.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we have to have a lot of them in order to get a very nice pungent taste of the garlic.
Yes, yes. Now I'll pour in like a half cup of coconut cream.
So we're using coconut because we are in Tanzania. We have a lot of coconut cream around. But if you're watching us from other parts of the world, I know some countries, they have a lot of nuts and they use a lot of nuts. Yeah, and then some countries use palm oil. Yeah.
Yes.
And I also know that some countries use a lot of milk, so dairy products are fine as well.
I'll put some cloves of black pepper.
Okay. So black pepper and garlic. So
yeah.
I'll just quickly grind them. There we go. Fine. So this is all good. Yeah. Traditionally, when I'm grinding garlic, I need to add a little bit of salt.
That's how you do it?
Yeah.
No, you don't need to add salt. That one is enough.
Okay. So there we go. Nothing fancy, just a quick ground. There we go. They're skipping away from me, all those black peppers. Let's just quickly pound them.
See, we have not added any oil because coconut has enough oil
on its own.
Yes.
So there's no need of like putting oil before and start frying the onions directly.
No need actually.
So now we are changing the procedure, taking it traditionally. Add coconut cream or whatever source of fat that you have around to cook your vegetables with. So you can quickly just finish with this garlic.
Let me help you a little bit.
Okay, it's a bit tricky. All right, so keep sending those comments online. We would like to hear what you say and how much fascinating it has been, because honestly speaking, all these procedures and methods are all new to many of us, including myself, because when I cook the mushrooms, I add some oil to it. Okay, so there we go.
You need a spoon.
Okay, you need a spoon to quickly do that. Okay. So as we are getting ready and everything gets ready, remember our grilled chicken, the procedure is still the same. Once you're done with grilling, you leave it to rest. So we left our chicken to rest. And yeah, I'm going to open this chicken while the mushrooms are getting ready. Okay.
Salt.
Just a pinch of salt, right?
Yes, yes.
Or African way is different?
No, just a pinch, a little bit of
just for the flavor.
Yeah. You see, these ones, we don't chop them small.
Why?
because we want to test it while cooking. We don't want it to be too much for the kids, for other members of the family whom don't eat the chili. So we just put it for a little while for the taste and the smell. Yes.
Okay. So we let it simmer.
While it's simmering, we will give it a little bit, like 1 minute waiting before we add the mushrooms.
It smells really good, but in the meantime, what do you want me to do with the blackberries?
Yeah, I want you to grind those.
Okay. So I think I'm going to use this big mortar here.
Yeah, we're making sauce out of it.
Oh, awesome. So there goes the blackberries. How do you call them in your language? Because I know mother tongues are different and the names are also different.
You see, I was raised up in Mbeya. Mbeya, we call them manganga.
Oh. Okay, so I will just quickly grind them. So you want them to be finely ground or just...
Get a little juice out of it.
Awesome. There we go. Wow. It's quite mushy. Oh, look at that beautiful purple color coming out.
Now putting in the mushrooms.
It's time to add the mushrooms. Okay. Oh, this smells good, Chef. It smells really good. Okay. There we go. I'm sure now you can attest to the amount of juice that comes out of this grinder. Good. It looks good and delicious. I think it's ready, Chef.
We add a little salt.
A little salt to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Some herbs.
Okay.
We need herbs.
You need herbs. What kind of herbs? There you have mint and you have some oregano. Some will say like, oh, that's not native Africa, but in African forests and near the rivers, you find a lot of mint grown naturally.
This mint is here, right?
So yeah, there we go.
So we chop them.
So we want some fresh herbs that can have a beautiful impact to our food. That's something good about having chefs around. They will show you how best you can balance the flavors to your food.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mint also goes to the berries. Awesome. I just learned this for the first time. I never knew if I could actually mix herbs and berries and salt and use it in savory dishes. Good. So, Chef, what else can I help you with? Because I think we are almost ready to eat.
We're waiting for this to be ready.
Okay.
We have our taro ready here.
The taros are ready.
Yes.
Yay! Good. So, what should we do, Chef?
We have to, well.
Okay, let's take them out. And
you want to see some?
the show begins. Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
See, this is the taro.
You don't have to poke them. You will naturally know they are ready. You don't have to poke them.
And the aroma is very good.
Everything here smells fantastic. I think I need to start bringing the plates together closer for plating because it's about time that the show begins. Who thought it's ending? The show just began. All right, so Ruth and Matima, you are going to eat with your eyes wherever you are watching us from. But honestly, the smell here is absolutely amazing. Those mushrooms will taste heaven. I'm trying to wonder, in Uganda, how do you cook your mushrooms over there?
Yeah, that's very interesting, and I'm already hungry. If you could ship some of that food, I would be grateful. Mushrooms in Uganda, it depends on the culture or the tribe that you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, so it depends on which culture. There are some cultures that are focused on steaming. Everything that is eaten is steamed through banana leaves. So there is that version. Sometimes mushrooms are mixed with paste. They are pasted with ground nuts. Mushrooms go with eggs. Mushrooms go with vegetables, other vegetables as well. So it depends on which tribe or which culture you're talking about, but it's always a wonderful thing to really enjoy. So yeah, Uganda has wonderful ways. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, like Dr. said earlier, a lot of work is being done around promoting and bringing back African food through the My Food is African campaign. And like you've rightfully mentioned, documentation is one of the key areas. And we have a book that you will find on the website, on the AFSA website, that is the Barefoot Guide. And this Barefoot Guide is focusing on My Food is African. And in there, you will find a number of stories. The writing is in different ways, in poems, in stories that, bring back the feeling of African food, African culture, stories, interactions between children and mothers, a story around that. But by the end, you're learning something about food, and African food systems, stories between husband and wife, stories around the market area, stories, just stories that will bring back the celebration and the feeling around food and where we are about food in Africa today. So the Barefoot Guide is that documentation that you should go to, you should read and enjoy and read with your children. It's an easier way. By the time you're done reading it, you will have learned a lot from it. If it's okay, I want to read a very short quote on page 10 of the Barefoot Guide by Joan, that is who says the abundance of Africa. She says, there is an incredible and almost inconceivable diversity of food crops in Africa. This astonishing abundance translates into an equally astonishing array of dishes that mix and match these ingredients in complex and rich pastes or sauces and soups. It's only recently that researchers have tried to document approximately 7,000 different plant species used by people in sub-Saharan Africa as source of food, clothing, shelter, energy, medicine, and animal feed. There is a lot to be said. There are a lot of other stories. Please enjoy the Barefoot Guide.
There's a lot to follow up. And coming back to some of the comments that have been coming in through YouTube is from Milian Belay. He is saying African food is our identity and our culture. Again, Milian Bay also commented and saying, excellent conversation. Thank you so much, Milian. And then we have Kimper Doreen. She is watching live from Uganda. And she's saying, I'm learning a lot from this excellent show. Indeed, hashtag African food is superior. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, guys. Keep on bringing those comments. We want to know how the vibe is on the other side for you to be reminded and celebrate African food. Chef,
yes,
I'm hungry.
The food is ready.
Oh, that is the word I've been waiting for. So what should we do? What should we do? Where should we start?
Maybe we start with the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
The plating.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the whole leg.
Wow.
Yeah. Some part of the back.
Ah, look at that.
So we just split here.
Guys, the struggle will still be there. Do not expect anything softy, but of course this chicken was really prepared for grilling.
This is the gizzard.
This gizzards.
Yeah. You get to taste something.
Mm-hmm. So a bit of that. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Good.
And some more gizzards?
Yeah, some more. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So quickly we'll add some taro roots. I know some people will find it so weird that we have cooked this taro roots with the skin on, but trust me, once you cook with the skin on, there's some fantastic and absolute unique taste that comes out of these taro roots that you're going to taste later. Trust me, it's the best way to cook African food. Always remember, skin on, skin on. And if you are brave enough, you can eat with them, it's okay. So there goes a piece of taro root.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I'm excited. The mushrooms.
Yes.
Ah, look at that. It smells so good, chef. And trust me, for those who are health conscious, this is the moment that you will say, I am more comfortable in indulging into this food. And there it goes. Adding fruits.
Yeah.
Woo, lovely. This looks so good. So we're expecting to find all those tastes into this plate. First, you have some savory that you've been expecting. And then you have a kick of sweetness that comes from the berries. And then you have some creaminess coming from the coconut cream. And then you have some bit of spicy from the chili that comes from the chilies themselves and a bit of pepper. And the rest is history. Thank you so much, Chef. I think you have shown us the easiest way to cook African food. And I believe everybody who just watched, they found this a very easy way to eat and cook African meals. We want to say special thanks to everybody who just joined us and who's been watching us throughout this whole entire time. And everybody who just joined us online, we have participants online. We have Dr. Matima Juma. She was live from Zanzibar. And we want to also say thank you to Ruth Nabagala, who was live from Uganda. It's been an honor to have Africa has been going through for all these years, and how much AFSA has been preserving all those efforts for the current and future generation. We are reporting and actually broadcasting from Spanish kitchens here in Dar es Salaam. My name is Karida Zimbwe. Thank you so much, Chef Kile. I know there's a lot to learn. AFSA said there's a lot to preserve for the next generation. Thank you so much. Until next time, guys, we say bon appetit.
Huh?